Securities and Exchange Commission remits 1.5 billion naira into Federation account in 6 months to reduce cost and generate more revenue. Ministry of Trade inaugurates review committee on statutory responsibility as it affects the Petroleum Industry Act. Oil prices rise as a rebound in global demand is widely expected, plus interventions to assist small and growing businesses negatively affected by the pandemic is the focus of our discussion on the program. This is Business Express on the network service of the NTA. We are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Now let's begin with Petroleum Industry Act. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adebayo, on Monday inaugurated a technical committee to carry out a review of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and its implications on the statutory responsibilities of the ministry. The technical committee, headed by the Director, Legal Services of the Ministry, Mohammed Njuma Al-Hassan, will, among other things, review the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and its implication on the oil and gas export permit being issued to exporters by CED, review the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 in relation to the Weights and Measures Act and its implication on the department, highlight the implication of the Act on the roles of the CED and Weights and Measures departments under the Nigerian Export Supervision Scheme, suggest appropriate strategy to use in bringing the next scheme to the ministry since the scheme is about export, which is a core mandate of the ministry, suggest ways to remedy the infractions on the responsibilities of the ministry, if any, and prepare relevant letters to Mr. President and the National Assembly. The minister, who noted that the act tempered significantly with some statutory roles of the ministry, stressed the need by the ministry to leverage on the window provided by the review of the act to enable it to play a more significant role under the scheme in line with its mandate. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has disclosed that it remitted the sum of 1.5 billion naira into the Federation or federal government's account despite the global pandemic challenges. The regulatory agency, which came under the scrutiny of the Senate Committee on Public Account last week, stated that it had also unveiled plans to reduce its operating cost. A statement issued by the Director General of the agency, Lamido Yuguda, on Sunday says the reduction in operating costs will boost profitability of the agency. According to the statement, SEC has been paying 25% of gross revenues into the coffers of the federal government, adding that the sum of 1.5 billion remitted as at 31st June 2021 was pointer to good days to come. Yuguda expressed assurances that in the 2 years to come, the profits of the Commission will bounce back to normalcy, notwithstanding that SEC was superintending the market that was badly affected by the pandemic. Yuguda revealed that, having worked on expenditure, he is optimistic that 2022 and 2023's deficit will turn into a surplus of 1.2 billion naira and estimates a surplus of 2.5 billion naira by 2024. SEC said it needs support or realize its target, adding that it has planned early retirement of staff in order to tackle over bloating welfare. Now, latest data by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that total merchandise trade grew stronger in the second quarter of 2021 due to sharp increase in export. Total trade was 23.28% higher when compared to first quarter 2021 and 88.71% higher than the value recorded in second quarter 2020, as total imports rose by 1.45%. Imported agricultural products were 3.5% in second quarter 2021. The value of raw materials imports increased by 25.6% in the quarter under review. Also, value of solid minerals imports was 21.4% higher. Value of energy goods imports decreased by 94.6%. Value of imported manufactured goods, however, decreased by 5.1% in second quarter 2021 against the value recorded in first quarter 2021, but increased by 54.3% compared to second quarter 2020. Value of other oil products imported in second quarter 2021 was 13.3% more than its value in first quarter 2021. The report also shows that value of exports in second quarter 2021 increased by 74.72% against the level recorded in first quarter 2021 and 128.929% compared to second quarter 2020. The value of agricultural export increased by 29.95% in second quarter 2021. Value of raw materials goods exports in second quarter 2021 49.98% more than the value in first quarter 2021. Solid minerals exports rose by 60.10% in the quarter under review. Also, exports of energy goods increased in value by 18.44%. Crude oil exports increased by 111.32%, while export value of other oil products decreased by 0.66% in the quarter. The NBS report also indicates that major exports trading partners in the quarter were India, Spain, Canada, Netherlands, and United States of America. Major import trading partners were China, India, Netherlands, United States, and Russia. It is a known fact that the COVID-19 pandemic caused a drop in demand for corporate and household products and commodities in Nigeria, just like it did in other parts of the world. It is in response to this that the federal government, under the MSME Survival Funds, a few days ago launched the Guarantee Offtake Scheme, conceived as part of interventions to assist small and growing businesses that were negatively affected by the pandemic. Benny Adams has details.
The program is building on the successes recorded in the implementation of the other tracks of the scheme and in line with the plan to fully rejuvenate the economy, with focus on MSMEs in the manufacturing sector. Chairman of the steering committee of the scheme, Mariam Katagum, says the federal government is rolling out the last component of the survival fund, known as the Guaranteed Offtake Scheme. It is an intervention to assist small and growing businesses affected by the pandemic.
These include face masks, hand sanitizers, liquid soaps, disinfectants and processed foods such as gari, palm oil, groundnut oil, and so on.
Under the payroll support scheme, 459,334 individuals benefited across 36 states and the FCT, out of which 43% are female-owned businesses and 3% people with special needs. While the Artisan and Transport Scheme, with an initial target of 333,000, artisans and transport beneficiaries have 293,336 successful beneficiaries across 36 states and the FCT. Others are the CAC Formalization Support Scheme, with 244,162 small and growing enterprises registered for free, in addition to the General MSMEs Grant Scheme, with 82,491 beneficiaries to date.
We have successfully disbursed 56,842,780,000 to 1,079,323 beneficiaries.
The latter scheme is given preference to products produced in sufficient volumes in each state, which has proven propensity to create jobs and have a multiplier effect on the surrounding economy.
Well, to better understand the workings of the scheme and for others before it and the possible impact on the economy, we have in the studio Tola Adekunle Johnson, Special Assistant to the President on MSMEs. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we've seen the Economic Sustainability Plan giving birth to survival funds, and it has like 5 parts. How has it fared so far?
Okay, the survival fund, as it was approved, like 5 tracks, like you said earlier on. It has the payroll support, which was meant to support MSMEs who would have actually laid off staff. So the government decided that, you know what, let's support you in paying some of this. Whatever you pay yourself, let's augment it for you for 3 months. The government paid as much as 50,000 to individuals in companies, at least 10 people in each company, you know, and a minimum of 30,000. If you are paying less than 50,000, we'll pay you the minimum wage. Now we had the MSME support for small businesses. That's business registration. That's to help register business names. About 250,000 new business names. You see, you have a lot of creative MSMEs that will tell you that they are not able to register their businesses because they do not have the funds. So the federal government seized this opportunity to help register about 250,000 businesses. Then you have the third one, which is the MSME grants. These are businesses that will not qualify for the payroll, and they don't fit into the business names either. But they are household businesses. You know, they also have their little businesses, maybe inventory no more than 50,000. So government decided to support them as well, give them a token of 50,000 naira grants. And all these tracks I'm talking about are grants. Give them grants, basically of 50,000 naira to support and augment whatever it is that their business faced during that period. The essence of all of this is to ensure that these businesses survive and these individuals survive, that they do not lay off staff. And now, some of these tracks had been launched. We have beneficiaries across these tracks. There's a fourth one, which is the transport and artisan track, where we give 30,000 naira to those in the transport industry and artisans. And these are grants, like I said, and some people will say 30,000 naira is not rather small, but you see the people that have collected this money, and with the testimonials that they are giving, you will understand that it was something that came at a point of need for these people. Now, having done all of this we are now about to launch the GOS, that's the guaranteed offtake. Okay. That's to support the manufacturing and production line and production industry. If you are making face masks, hand sanitizer, processed food, etc. So the government will inject some funds into your business for you to make some production. The government will also now guarantee getting those products off you. So because it's one thing for you to, as a business owner, it's one thing for you to have massive production and there's no market. So the government in this time around will not act as a guarantor, collect those things, as the government will act as an off-taker, for instance, collect those things off you, give them to different state governments. That's the steering committee now, headed by the Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment.
But that way it doesn't seem sustainable, does it? Because it's mostly grant.
No, but let's look at it from a point. Do you think it's every SME that would every day go and buy a face mask for 200 naira? No, if you face mask of 200 naira, it is not every SME that has 500, 1,000 naira that wants to buy a face mask for 200 naira. So there are people who need this face mask and other things, you know, but cannot. They'll prioritize. Should I buy a face mask of 200 naira? Should I get something to eat? So if there is an offer for government to just lay there and say, okay, there's an alternative. You have this face mask free, basically. So you'll be playing your role as a responsible government to those.
Okay, can you take us through the numbers?
Okay.
Both the money expended and the beneficiaries.
Okay, so as we speak now, the target for the payroll, the target beneficiaries for the payroll was 500,000. That was what Mr. President, that was what the approval Mr. President gave.
Okay.
We have hit 4,000. We have hit 459,000.
Okay.
The target for the artisan and transport track is 333,000. We have hit 293,000. The target for the business support is 250. We have hit 244,000. And the target for the MSME grant is 100,000. We have hit 82,000.
Now what happens to the rest?
No, we are going to. Our target is to hit 100%.
Okay.
We have MSMEs that are still on our data. They are still on our DOM. So they are still being processed. So in the next few weeks or thereabouts, you'll be hearing these numbers will shoot up. Basically, we are aiming to ensure that we hit all our targets 100%. Now, as I speak now, some SMEs will have started receiving MSMEs will have started receiving text messages to say go to the portal. You are one of those that have successfully applied for the guaranteed offtake scheme. So by Wednesday, the scheme goes live. The scheme goes live. By Wednesday, you should go and apply, go to the portal on Wednesday. You have 3 days after your application to put in all your documentation. After that, if all your documentation are screened and are seen to be proper, you get 30% of your production money. You have 14 days after getting your production money to deliver. If you're able to deliver within before the 14 days, then that's good. You get your 70%. And to also ensure that all these things are done responsibly, we have agencies such as NAFDAC, Standard Organization of Nigeria, and other related agencies that would ensure that whatever you are bringing meets whatever standards.
Okay, now 56.8 billion.
Yeah.
So far, how many beneficiaries? We are talking about over 1 million beneficiaries here. How would you assess the impact on the economy?
I'm not sure it would be totally wrong if I say that part of the what Mr. President approved was a huge NESP scheme, and so there's been a lot of spending. So the impact so far, when you have a scheme of this magnitude, the real impact, if you want the impact, I can tell you the impact, but the real impact will come after the scheme is ended, when you have like an M&E report that will be given to the.
But so far, you can make some assessment.
Yeah.
And
But
say,
so far,
are we moving?
Oh, so far so good. It's been positive. A lot of MSMEs across the states. You know what it means? Do you know what it means by pumping almost 1.7 billion on the average into every state? That's the average. So the spending power, people are spending. Basically, so once people are spending, MSMEs that will have laid off did not lay off. Basically, you supported them.
So how do you actually evaluate and track this to see that whether they are making success or it's a different thing entirely?
So the federal government, through Ministry of Planning, also they have an overall assessment and impact and assessment group that they are going around trying to. They've been speaking to some of these beneficiaries, basically, and the steering committee also has its own M&E team. So we when you fill out your application, we know the number of staff you claim you have. Now we have given you money. We want to see the number of staff that you still have, because some people might be funny. You say that you have XYZ number of staff. Oh, I want to lay off people. Oh, no, the government will support you with grants. And you get that money and they still lay off staff. So we are monitoring these things, basically.
Oh, okay, briefly tell us about the shared facilities.
Oh, the shared facility came up. There is a scheme under the National MSME Clinics. His Excellency, Mr. Vice President, if you may recall, he's gone around to about 27 states commissioning these MSME clinics. But as he was going around, he's seen that a number of these SMEs cannot afford this expensive equipment for their production. So the federal government is partnering with state, with private sector and states to ensure that we bring this equipment to clusters that are easily available in the states. And our partners now bring this equipment. Then the MSMEs in those states go into those facilities to use this equipment at a token. So an equipment that will have cost maybe millions of naira, you can go in and pay 1,000 naira, use the same equipment for your production, and you leave. So we encourage the states to do this in at least 3 senatorial zones in the states.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tola Adekunle Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, investors lose 118 billion naira in the week ended. Bosede Abel has more on the market.
The equities market recorded a negative close for the week ended 3rd August 2021. The NGX All-Share Index depreciated by 0.57% to close the week at 39,261.01 basis points, with market capitalization dropping to 20.4 trillion naira. Transcorp Hotels PLC led the gainer, stable with 10%, all except the insurance index, which recorded negative performances in the week. At a turnover of 1.3 billion shares worth 8.6 billion naira in 19,830 deals were traded in the week by investors. This represents an improvement in the trading activity level when compared to trading activity in the preceding week. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 615.5 million shares valued at 4.1 billion naira traded in 9,021 deals. The conglomerate industry followed with 253.3 million shares worth 280.7 million naira, while the third place was the consumer goods industry. Trading in the top 3 equities were Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, Honeywell Flour Mill, and Access Bank, were the top for the week in terms of volume. At the end of the week's transaction, 26 equities appreciated in price, 36 equities depreciated in price, while 94 equities remained unchanged. Boss said the able Business Express.
Now to global stocks. European and Asian market stocks continue to see gains. Let's join Ineka Oko for more on the global markets.
Hello and welcome to the global market segment. Global stocks posted their longest winning streak in 3 months on Monday, aided by the chance of low interest rates for longer in the United States and the talk of more stimulus in Japan and China. In Asia, Japan's Nikkei 225 was among the biggest earners regionally, rising 1.83% to close at 29,659.89. The Shanghai Composite also rose 1.12% to close at 3,621.86, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index added 1.01% to 26,163.63. European stocks also advanced after U.S. jobs data indicated the Federal Reserve may have to keep monetary policy loose for longer. Germany's DAX climbed 0.63%, with London's FTSE adding 0.61%, and CAC 40 of France gained 0.62%. In the U.S., contracts on the S&P 500 index rose 0.19%, and Nasdaq Composite added 0.27%, even as U.S. markets were closed for Labor Day. Back home, African markets rose in early trading, which saw most stocks posting gains, except for Kenya's Nairobi oil share, which depreciated 0.83% to 179.47. And that's global market. Neka Oko is back to the presenter.
This is where we end this episode of the program. Don't forget, you can access this and all previous episodes on YouTube. We value your feedback. Do join us again tomorrow, Tuesday, for another package. I am Musa Abubakar.